Look okay?
Nice. Your beard look, it looks great all the time, man. Every time. Oh my goodness, you guys, welcome back to your weekly roar. We're glad to be here. We got to have a little bit of levity here, have a little bit of fun, laugh a little bit, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but we're in a minute of a bear market. it's
Surprise.
it, it's really happening. So there's a few things you can do in seasons like this or whatever. You can push, 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 or you can take a minute and talk about value and talk about story and talk about where you're heading. And that adds vision to the conversation. That's what we want to do today. We're not trying to pump something, we're not trying to change the direction of a token price. There's some activity going on in our ecosystem that actually has direct results. We're in a down market. We're tied to Ethereum. Our token's going to head down. Our claims have started from all the folks that are OGs in this space. And of course, those that are holding on to it, thank you. And those who aren't, well, there you go. No comment. Hope you're holding. But anyways, and it's in this down. We're in September. It's very normally a month like you're seeing. There's often a bear on the other end of it. There's a good chance that there could be a bull run. So we've had a lot of down Septembers with a lot of red in the streets, blood in the streets, lead to bull runs and Octobers. And that's what we're looking for. And in order to help everyone gain vision, value, and perspective, we're going to talk about a couple different things. Number one, we're going to talk a little bit about the token today, not in a pumping way. We're not trying to pump or tell people how to invest. That ain't who we are. We're just going to share the value proposition of the ROAR itself and its ecosystem, because there's a lot of things folks haven't seen yet, or the folks that are invested already, you guys have bought this token, maybe you don't know what we're really fully about and understand where we're going. So that's what I want to talk about. So as we start, I want to point over to Brandon and say, Brandon, can you talk to us about what we've just done with our tokenomics? That's kind of the first good starting point.
Yeah, thank you, Dustin. Man, it's taken a lot of work and we've had a lot of iterations along the way, but we just updated our tokenomics to version 4.0. And we'll be releasing that information within the month, that way everybody can see it. But we have some surprise info that we've decided that comes along with that. I'll just say bring marshmallows because there's going to be fire.
There will be fire.
And, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about why we updated the tokenomics.
Right. Now is the time when you do token submissions to coin lists like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko.
Right.
Your initial token submissions don't always automatically update all of your token information from your white papers and your tokenomics and whatnot. And so oftentimes they'll ask you to come back, do a self audit, and represent that information, share the wallets, share the market data, and everything that you have. So we had to go back and do that with CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. I am happy to say when we were first getting ready to record this podcast, we were talking about the fact that we were going to have to share that CoinGecko had finished and CoinMarketCap was still in the works. But as of this moment, they're both updated. And so CoinGecko is fully updated, and it does its calculations a little different from CoinMarketCap. So you're going to see a difference between the two with the same information. We gave them the same information, and CoinMarketCap communicates one thing, CoinGecko communicates another, and then we have other places that we communicate a third set of information. Let me explain. It's all the same information. The way CoinGecko looks at it, they want to look at everything, even if it's a lock at Sablier or wherever else that even comes back to the treasury or for unlocks in the future. They see that as publicly available in the market. So they show a larger circulating supply than CoinMarketCap shows. CoinMarketCap takes those wallets, looks at them, says these are locked. And so your actual flow is this much. And then from our own observances, we give you the way to look at what our current supply is based on what's unlocked and available to the market at the moment. What did we have to give them? Everything. We gave them all of our different wallets, all of our different information, API access to track our market, information from our blockchain, as well as we gave them updates on what lock supplies are, what wallets were represented, and where everything lives. To summate, we got it done. It was a lot of math and a lot of Excel spreadsheets, and it's all in their hands. And now our coin lists are updated, which is super important because it shows what our value is as a company and as an entity as represented in those tokens. So that's cool. Now, Brandon, tell folks where they can get our information, same information that we exported from this to give to those market centers or those coin lists. Where can folks go and tell them about it?
That's right. So we've got live token data at roartoken.org. That's R0AR token.org. You can go there and you can see the breakdown, like you said, with the wallet addresses and where everything's been distributed. It gives a little bit better picture than just looking at CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko to understand that we truly locked these things into contract and where we put everything that is not actually circulating on the open market, right? So there is a little bit of difference there, and it's great to see kind of the truth, right? It's the transparency that everybody's looking for.
And here's the other thing. If you really want to know what we did as far as those locks, where things are locked,
Mhm.
our tokenomics, I guess it'd be the tokenomics 3.0 paper we did, the white paper on Mirror, which you can find our Mirror blog link from the website R0AR.io. If you
Mhm.
go there, Mirror has our breakdown in words. So you can take
Right.
the roartoken.org and put it side by side with the Mirror blog and see what these wallets mean and where it's at. So LlamaPay has a lock and Sablihe has a lock, and all these different locks happen. And then there's some locked in bridging functions and locked for the use on other chains and
Mhm.
all that good stuff. It's all written out, all completely transparent. And to be honest, like if you look at the differences between all of them, very minuscule, very transparent and authentic as we can be. And we're layering all of this because we're making a conversation. We're sharing a story about where we're headed. So, with that said, I want to pivot into the value proposition. And we'll come back to what CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap represent as opposed to our value proposition. But let's talk about our value proposition. The first thing I want to say is we are a 10-year visioned company. So we have 10 years of vision, and that 10 years of vision has been reframed because we made about 80% of our first 10 years within our first 2 years.
Yeah.
So we have been working in this process for over 4 years, almost 5 years now, to get to here.
Yeah.
2 years you've known about us. That's all. We came out of our garages 2 years ago and started talking about and offering entrance into our ecosystem development and what we were doing. And so here we are right now, and we're 2 years into our 10-year plan, but we're 80% done. So we have a new roadmap and a new 10 years. We should likely finish our 10-year roadmap by 2026 and then be running into our new 10-year roadmap after that. Folks, what I can say is this. Our new 10 years includes 28, maybe 29 after today, different softwares built on the back of our rails, our chain, our ecosystem, our wallets, and everything there. That's a lot. The thing that's exciting to me is the technology that we're building is actually something that, with the right team and everything being organized the way I like it, could logically be done in 2 years based on the speed at which we're bringing things to market right now. So we have a 10-year plan, plenty of time. We have our budget set and we have our treasury set up. We already have enough funds to do what we need to do and get there. We're not fundraising now. Everything that happens from our node sales and everything else we're doing, those funds are going into making it even better. What we can do to take care of our community and push even further and harder and market more. So we're in a process where we have the budget, we have the treasury, we have the view, we have the products already in development. In all 29 I mentioned, there's only 2 right now that haven't at least started development. That's because one of them came up today. So I'm just saying, ideation, we're there, but a number of these products we're talking about, we are already at least 70% or further. And if we've dropped a name, we're 80% or further done with it and ready to go. We're either holding it back because of beta testing issues, or we're bugging it, or whatever to protect the community, but we're releasing things as fast as we physically are able to do. The value here is that roadmap is end to end everything that you've already heard us talk about and more. And we will be releasing that in the future. And now what we need to do is frame out what our actual value proposition as an organization is. We want you to understand. Again, it's not investment advice. This is transparency, accountability, and authenticity with you who are looking under the hood at who R0AR is. So we want you to know who R0AR is and some hard facts, some real numbers, so that you know where our valuation falls. And so, anyways, so Brandon, with looking at CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, from what they came back and said, from our numbers that we've reported and all the data we gave them, you can see the market cap, and you can see right now that there's a fully diluted valuation that comes in at an incredible place for us right now. Yes, there's been a dip in the market, but I would say from that, before we even get started, that number right there, representative to who we are, is very probably the right number or a little bit under the current valuation that we're about to share with everyone. What are your thoughts, man?
That's right. And you're probably going to go into more detail about this, but it definitely is well, I would say an undervalued position because it's very simplified in the way that it's calculated.
1,000,000%. Yeah, we'll dig down the weeds on that. So, an ultra conservative valuation right now, just based on what we've been able to ascertain, is going to be for us about 150 million. And you'll see that number is running at where we're at. This is pretty awesome. That's really just representing our treasury and our discounted tokens only. So we'll dig into what we've got as our literal valuation deck. We've done it with conservative numbers. So we're pretty much trading in line with our value, and that's just the treasury and the tokens at this moment, as well as a little under the value. I think it's at a discount. I think we're actually, if we were to count our whole ecosystem, it's massively worth more than even what we're looking at, which is great. I'd rather be at an undervalued position as far as the market goes, because it gives us a lot of opportunities here. It's exciting to build that story narrative, especially as we start releasing software, because we already have revenue. We got revenue from fees, from the chain fees, from function of our stuff. We've got revenue from our different products and software we've already put out, as well as secondary sales on NFTs. Node sales have been through the roof with selling 1.5 million. Sales are high. We're doing really well, and I think that's good. So I just say the first thing is that we want to talk about is our treasury hard floor. If you don't think about a hard floor in value, it'd be our treasury. And so in our on-chain assets and in our NFTs, we're talking about around anywhere from the 25 million marker or more. We're not even calculating in our ownership of NFTs, both in our project and outside. We're just talking about what we currently have in our treasury in crypto, not just our token, but literal value that we have in our crypto as well as other projects. And we're not even fully representing that. So that's pretty exciting. Just that treasury hard floor showing us to be there. Do you want to take on the token economics with the one R0AR, Brandon?
Yeah, absolutely. So total supply is 10 billion is what we started out with. We've burned a little bit, so that technically is reduced. So that's exciting. There's about 4.8 billion that's removed, and then we have 5.2 billion that's to be released over the next 10 years, right? So that's kind of the breakdown there. Let's see, current price. So you're looking at an implied fully diluted value of 250 million. And
Wow.
conservative adjustment, if you discount that by 50%, you're still at 125 million for the tokens. So that's pretty incredible right there.
Yeah, and you'll notice again that's below what even the CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap are showing for us.
That's right.
So we're talking conservative numbers. One thing you're gonna know about us: we budget,
Mhm.
we steward, and we're conservative in our predictions and our numbers. So that's another one. The next thing that we can bring is software and licensing, and so we've got licensing and software as well as hardware sales now, which not really hardware, but it's the function software that'll be on hardware, like the node sales, Oracle AI node sales, wallets, platforms, launch pads, plus 20 some other products that we're not even mentioned here. They're massive. Node sales has a potential of 153 million. Conservative at a 30% probability, probably about 45 million in raise that we expect within the
Mhm.
next 6 months to a year. That's just legitimate. We raised 1.5 million before this bear market started, and we're
Sure.
still in the raise. In sales of nodes, 1.5 million in 3.1 weeks or something like that. We have
Mhm.
other software as well that we haven't even talked about. It's going to be licensed or more. It's running between 20 to 30 million. And then the combined conservative software value for all of this, 65 to 75 million in value. Um, that just leads us to the next thing, which is probably the biggest opportunity in our whole ecosystem because we're building everything we can on top of it. And that's our chain and the products around our chain. You want to speak to our chain?
Yeah. So the Roar chain, which is an OP stack layer two, we're looking at comparable early stage layer two is somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 million. And then we've got merchandise products, 1 to 2 million. And combined, we're looking at somewhere in that 50 to 60 million, probably on the conservative side.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about this next year just with that adoption, which we're pushing. We're pushing everything we can on our chain. And know this, we're building software
Yeah.
that pushes our chain.
Yes.
Like we've talked about it, one click functionality to do things on Web3 and Web2, value building our chain. We're building all of our rewarding, staking, funding, whatever we do in our world, in DeFi, as well as so much more we haven't talked about, is funded with our token on our chain
Mhm.
and utilizing it for discounts and more. Everything we can on our chain. However, that software is Ethereum compatible and can be put on every partner chain we want. And we will be doing that very strategically because on all the chains our software runs, if it's a better way to do things and it benefits our chain and it could benefit a couple other sister chains, Base, A Chain, others, wow, Polygon, whoever. What that means for us is our ecosystem gains fees. So one thing we're not talking about in here is there's fees in our chain. There's fees inside of our ecosystem. There's fees inside of our software, bridging, assets, whatever. There are fees, there's emissions, there's returns, and all of that goes back in our treasury, into our ecosystem, and back into developing and doing more. I want to move on to brand and IP. Our brand and our IP, I always thought this was crazy until we were researching it and we're even getting some AI models on top of it and just figuring out what things were worth. But it's incredible because we have Roar and Fierce Labs. We have the Executive Roar Society NFTs, which sold out so fast in a sideways market, guys. Let's be clear. Those NFTs sold out so fast in a sideways market. And all of our governance structure, the Roar Country Club, we call it, all of that, if you put all of that together, the build of just the brand and the IP, that valuation can come in at about 10 to 25 million. Not only that, because we've had such exposure and we're honored, like we are so blessed, we put out PR. We've had a lot of great marketing teams that have been a part of helping us get our brand out there, KOLs, brand evangelists, as well as some, periodicals, magazines, and whatnot that are they're talking about us. Some of it we've gotten where we've paid and placed, but we've
Mhm.
gotten earned media placement as well, which is shocking to me that we've had that value to show up in Forbes without having to try. So here we are, we've got that exposure and our brand is out there and it's in those listings and that has value. Some of the brands, even for NFTs like this, will sell out the whole brand and be able to fund other things. We're not doing that. It's inside of our value proposition for our community. And so, anyways, Executive War Society is super hot and incredible part of that brand, and all that package is worth that. Now, tell us about our governance legal entities, Brandon.
Yeah, so with our governance, we built out those legal structures and for the Roar Country Club, right? And that actually has a valuation in and of itself because of how wise we were in the way we did it and the structure itself. Conservative valuation is somewhere in the $2 to $5 million range.
That's incredible. Even that's incredible to me. I never think about the value of all the legal. But,
Mhm.
if you're out there in one of our legal teams, you'll notice we're being very careful to always say this is not investment advice. This is transparency. So, because our legal teams give us such great advice, and they have led us through all the different challenges of launching an ecosystem like this during very opaque government regulation and trying to do things inside the spirit of the law as well as we can to make sure that we do everything we can to take care of all of the requirements for doing what we do. And so the biggest exposure we've had recently, of course, is our note sales. And you'll know we do all of our KYC. It's all on the blockchain. We've done best practices. Our partner Z's been a part of it, the OP team. That's how we roll, guys. We're doing everything we can to be at the best level we can so that we can be successful and we can do it with the integrity or values and integrity that we hope our own families can be proud of, So at the end of the day, if you take all this together, and again, this is like tooting our own horns and talking about ourselves a lot, but we'd have to actually position ourselves. We won't say aggressively. There's bull cases out there to be aggressive. If the chain took off and it's making, millions of dollars a month, that'd be an aggressive case.
Mhm.
Or if the node sales go past that 45 million in raise mark within the next year, like we expect, or any of the other things that we see coming with the software and the fees and the emissions, folks, we could be in an aggressive bull case where we're like, okay, the valuation is like 700 million or $500 million. We're not making that case. There's another thing that could happen too as we take off. Folks can realize that there are things happening. They're causing more value for the one Roar token, as well as it's creating a deflationary environment for that token. We smile a lot about that because we like fire. We like campfires and marshmallows. You're going to know
Yeah.
what we're talking about really soon. We're just leaking a little. But that can create a different narrative. We're not even making that narrative, even though we do have that roadmap. So hear me when I say this. The middle ground or ultra conservative. Let's start with, no, I'll go middle ground first.
Yeah.
The middle ground for investors would be around a 300 million valuation for where we're at. Now, you guys haven't seen enough software for me to argue that. So I'm not going to argue that yet. There's a lot of folks that wonder if we're still making software, we're vaporware or whatever. And as we bring more things to market, you'll see that we have our ducks in a row. But I'm not making that argument. So we're not even putting that out there. We're going with ultra conservative bear case because that's the best we can do for anyone here is make a bear case, worst case scenario conversation. And so for just that treasury and just that discounted token value, irregardless of everything else we've talked about on our notes right here on this podcast, that valuation is 150 million. So if you look at CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, we're right in that range in that world. And you guys, even though we've had a moment in the last little bit, I feel really good about where we're at. I feel like this is a great floor for us to start to build from. And it's exciting because I know what's on the roadmap. I know what's on the PR and the releases. Brandon and I know all this stuff. And so as we keep releasing the information, it's exciting to see us build on top of that floor. And so if you're out there and you've been with us as an OG with this community and you're starting to get, our early public sale, you're starting to get the release of those tokens have been vesting locked and you're utilizing them. We want to encourage you that there's some steps you can take right now. Like these are steps you can take right now that'll benefit the whole ecosystem. Because at the end of the day, we want to build this up. We don't want to just, you know, dump and run, right? So how can you help right now and it be beneficial to you? Brandon, can you hit this list for us?
Absolutely. It'd be my pleasure. First thing you can do is buy a node. This is a great way to use your ROAR tokens. You get a discount on the node if you use one ROAR to purchase, and it creates residual income for the future. Great option, right? Stake and earn. So season 2 of the ROAR platform is coming on the ROAR chain. You can go to the platform, stake, earn some rewards. What a great way to use them, right? The other option is if you just want to get out, there's an option to sell back to the ROAR buyback vault, which is also on the ROAR chain. We are paying a premium because we want you to bring your tokens to the chain. That's TVL that's locked, and we would love to see it come back to us. And the last thing is quite simple. You can hodl. Just hang on. There's so much ahead, and like Dustin said, we can't talk about it all yet. That roadmap, all the stuff that we know is coming in the future, things that are literally going to change the space. We can't talk about it yet, but I'd hate to be the guy that sold out early. Man, just if you don't know what else to do, just hold on. Just hang on. That's what
Just
I
hang
got.
with us. You know, honestly, that's what we've been saying since the beginning. Even
That's
on
right.
the early calls, like we were on some calls way back in the day before we even got started, and just Zoom calls and one-on-one FaceTime calls or whatever. And I remember talking to folks who are like, I don't even know anything about it, but you know,
Mhm.
what should I know? And I'm like, the first thing is this: have a long-term mindset.
That's right.
Second thing is this: do not invest what you can't afford to lose. The third thing is this team is committed to building, building, building until this community wins, wins, wins. We've always said we do not beg our ways out of a hole, we build our ways out of a hole. We've proven that mantra twice now. We've proven it. We've
Yeah, we
proven
got.
it through a hiccup in a market, and we're still here, and through an exploit, which
Mhm.
like literally could have shut us down in a minute. But we
Mhm.
came back, we're like, it's fine. We'll just re-raise, put more of our own money in, double down, and buy our own tokens back and build this back. We did that during that exploit, and you guys
Mhm.
turned that thing around on a dime. So that's what we're doing. We're going to build our way out of this moment in a bear market, not beg. So you can join us in the build out. There's going to be different pressures on us as we go through this little micro bear. It may be a bigger bear, but I find it hard to believe it's a bigger bear because I know it's on the other side of the regulation and institutionalization and the fact that we're only in a moment where only 6% of the entire legal population that can get into crypto are in. Only 6%.
Right.
So if somebody's telling you you're getting in late, it's a doggone lie. I'm a big bull on the fact that everyone getting in right now, you're early. Early, early, early. We've got over the next 10 years, 94% of that market as it unlocks to the rest of the world. So, anyways, we're in a micro bear. Pressures we're going to face, unlocks and claims that sell off low. I mean, that's going to happen. You know, that's just the way things are. Or folks that bought on the early listings and stuff where it pumped and, you know, whatever, and they sell down. That happens. These things happen. There's folks that have to cover themselves. That's going to happen. If this ends up being a moment around the world where folks have challenges, they've got to have funds. It happens. Also, our price against Ethereum and liquidity pools. Ethereum does its funny dance. We follow it right now. That's just the way it is because you know our liquidity is largely tied to Ethereum. And you know what? That liquidity, we got that from our early public sales, and we locked all of that. Locked all of it, most of it with permanent locks or 10-year locks, so that it's there come high or low, come heaven or hell. It's there to ride it. And so that liquidity pool, it's there. It keeps us running. It keeps all the markets going for us, but also it does tie us to Ethereum's up and downs. And then whenever we got so many transactions leaning towards sales instead of buys like we've seen lately, I understand why. because if you know much about the market, it's really over leveraged again. You've got a lot of folks that are over leveraged. You've got a lot of folks out there who have done endless perpetual future positions, and they've put a lot in on bets, and they're having to cover it because those things are getting unwound. We're seeing a lot of liquidations of wallets right now. I think there was billions liquidated over the last week or whatever. It gets ugly when those things trigger, sell-offs. All of that can affect us as well in the market, even though we're ringing in good news and whatever. You can see that happen. However, here's the thing: we're here, we're staying, and we're building past this. This
Right.
year will come and go. My question is, what does this look like next year?
Mm-hmm.
Like, unlocks are done, airdrops are done, claims are done. What's it look like next year? That's what I'm excited about, you guys. And, here's the thing: we have our eyes on this whole thing and we're watching it. That's why we created the buybacks on our chain, because we want to reward, we want to replicate it. We said this over and over. So bridge the tokens over our chain, sell them to us. We give you a 4.5% premium right now. That's huge. That's better than the market drop. And we may go higher than that. It just depends on how crazy we are, how much we want over there. And so right now we're in the beta stages. We're buying back, budgeted chunks every single day. And you can get over and be a part of that if you have to get out. We're not encouraging you to. It's just if you're going to go, come to our buyback vault, lock it in our smart contract so that's over on our chain, add TVL to us. And if you're going to sell, make ROAR more valuable as you do it. It's a win-win. You get what you need, but also you turn around and you leave something afterwards for the community versus open market. So I want to encourage you over. It's the best way in the next part. And then also, if you think about it, you may want to make sure that you've got the one ROAR you need to access your software, the DeFi platforms, or even everything else that comes. This is not investment advice. I can't do that for you, but I can give you HODL advice. There have been times I got out too quick and I wish I hadn't, in projects I was involved in that turned out to be incredible. And so we are going to keep going. We want you to go with us. And so if you're our community already out there, we just want to invite you into our opportunities. Buy a node, stake and earn, sell back to the ROAR buyback vault on the ROAR chain. If you don't know about it, hit our website and go down in there into the buyback vault and learn about it and then click through and use it. We want you on our chain. And then lastly, if you're new, well, I can't tell you how to invest, but I can say that as of right now, we're looking like a little bit of a value. So do your own research, look up your own information, check out the data, see the updated information now on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Took us a couple months to get it there, but we got it there, and make good decisions. And then I will say, come join our community. If you do get in with one of our NFTs or ROAR or Node or anything, please join us. The best place that we're having the most fun right now with community is in Discord. So I'd invite you into our Discord. It is a blast. You guys, I want to end with that. Brandon, can you tell us a little bit about the nonsense fun our community is having in our Discord server?
Bro, my favorite thing over at the Discord server is by far the meme contest. These guys are killing it, and it's hilarious. I'm laughing. I mean, it's just beautiful what's happening over there, and I think that the community's coming together, and it's really cool to see for sure.
I love it. My thing is this: like, Average Joe, Noble,
Yeah.
they're killing it. They're killing it. The memes are hilarious, but you guys, just today we're meeting, and they got all these other ideas. It's not
Hmm.
just Meme Monday anymore. You got Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. If you want to get involved, get involved. And in there, I don't know if you saw this PR that just went out, but we're putting more money into our brand evangelists. I want to put it all through our Discord folks. I love those guys, and our Yappers on X. My favorite two groups, Yappers on X and Discord. Oh my stars, you guys are hilarious. I love it, love it, love it. So if you're anywhere else, go jump in those two communities. They're incredible. All right, man. I think we've gone on long enough about us. I don't even like talking about us this much. I can't wait till we start inviting other folks to come on and interview them or whatever. you have anything else you want to add before we let these folks go?
No, I'm looking forward to that as well, having some conversations with partners and other folks in the community. So yeah, looking forward to the future of this podcast.
This podcast is going to the next level, my friends. So if you're out there and you're one of our community and you are a KOL or you've got your own podcast or whatever, hey, give us a bump. Let us know. We'd love to bring you on and talk to you about this world of Web3 and crypto. We love, love, love partnering with folks. And so, anyways, we're going to finish this up today. But, guys, this is unfinished. We're about to see some amazing stuff come out for the next few weeks. Like we said this about 4 weeks ago. We have 5 weeks of big PR over a 10-week period, and we have 10 weeks solid of updates, milestones, releases, PR, and content. So please keep your notifications on, follow us on all the channels, and stay up to date, because we are letting you know right here through X, through all of our video streaming, all of our live platforms. We're letting you know here first everything that's happening in our ecosystem. You guys have a good one. Thanks for tuning into your weekly roar. We'll see you next time. Brandon, thanks for being on.
Hey, thanks everybody. Take care.
Have a good one, y'all.